All right, backstage UFEST. The interviewing and me harassing bands continues until they kick me out. Backstage with nothing more with Jonny and Dan. And Jonny was cheating and looking ahead at my interview prep. But you today, man, now I'm not calling you out. I'm not trying to say it negative. I was concerned. I was feeling for you. Your voice looked like it was hurting you a little bit up there.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. Actually, it's never quite happened like this before. But my voice just, like, third song into the set, it just went away, like, completely. So it was an interesting battle with myself trying to get the notes to come out because I sing, pretty high. And a lot of the songs have, low guttural things all the way to high stuff. And so it was a lot of getting the crowd to participate more, because I don't really know. It's a hard thing to navigate when you have thousands of people all looking at you and you're squeaking out Donald Duck sounds,
right.
So it was a defeating day for me. Honestly, before we did this interview, I was kind of just fuming, and just took a cold shower. Not for any reason other than that's all the water is in there. It's just cold. But I took a shower, and the cold shower actually kind of brought me out of my funk a little bit. But yeah, it was a little bit of a defeating day. But it shows like these that at the end of the day, it makes me want to make this never happen again and get better and try to figure out why. I think it may have been the dirt, the dust in the air, and mixed with being at the end of a world tour and just fatigued. I don't know, man.
It's a credit to you guys, though, because of that dust, that means people were moving out in the crowd at UFEST, and that crowd had your back. You guys put on a hell of a show. I was on the side that didn't have the crazy movement going on. I was on the tame side, hiding over there with those folks. But and this is in my own personal interest, just because I use my voice frequently too. What are your tricks? Obviously, the ice cold beer, it helps cool the vocal cords. What's the next step in healing?
This ice cold beer is more for my psychological state of mind right at the moment. But usually, I did a whole world tour and didn't lose my whole, voice the whole time, and I prided myself on kind of my tricks that, like you're asking about. Today they didn't work, evidently, but most of the time what I'll do is just start getting blood flowing, throughout my body for, a good hour before. I'll never eat 2 hours before I start singing, but that's just for acid reflux. And once you start moving around right after, if you've eaten pretty soon, it'll put acid up in your throat and kind of dry it out and hurt your vocal cords. And I'll burp a lot during trying to sing, lines, and that's always an awkward
He's doing really metal vocals today.
Yeah. But other than that, we all do this vocal warm-up together that's like on our iPhone, and it's just this, like a 30-minute low to high, kind of doing scales and different weird vowel sounds. And then after that, it's really more of the tricks are while I'm singing. I've done everything in the book that, people have told me, like from crazy grapeseed oil stuff to, I don't know, these holistic, medicines but, to be honest, it really just comes down to that warm up and not eating 2 hours before and drinking a lot of water. And then while you're singing, that's really where the battle is. It's not so much before, but.
And then not talking after shows, you jerk. But,
yeah, why are you answering these questions?
Thanks a lot for interviewing us.
Where are you guys going? You're going to Vegas tomorrow? Sorry, Vegas, I screwed you all over.
that's El Paso.
El Paso. Okay, well, you guys are going to El Paso.
They're forgetting that.
The first time I heard you guys, when I got down to Tucson, it was very reminiscent of another band that I loved, and they kind of went away. And I did, my Wikipediaing, my Googling, my Yahooing, Twittering, whatever the hell it is. And I found Fair to Midland, another Texas band. Have you guys had interaction with those guys, the Fair to Midland boys, or?
Yeah, we toured with them for a little while.
Okay.
They're from Dallas, Texas, which is right up the road from us in San Antonio. So we were definitely, aware of them before they kind of broke globally and got their little, before they broke up, they started kind of picking up speed and people found out about them. But we knew about them for a while and always wanted to play shows with them. We'd go to their shows just because we wanted to see them live. But we ended up doing some shows with them in Carnival on a little package across Texas, and that was really, really cool. But they're definitely a band that, you know, a lot of people bring that up because they hear the influence, and no doubt they've influenced us.
And I don't mean it in any disrespectful way, any shape or form.
No. We unashamedly claim them as an influence, so we love them.
Very cool. The most recent music video, Jenny, it's out, and hashtag IknowJenny. You guys are doing a great thing. It's the outreach for mental illness. Yeah. And, you know, you guys are relating with the fans. And from what I've seen, it seems like it really connects, and it has struck a chord with your following and just with people in general. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting when you kind of put a stake in the ground and put a flag on it, you know, metaphorically, like, you know, having a hashtag like that, and you get to see how many people come out of the woodworks with stories that you never would have known unless you had, you know, had a video like this.
Is that a cold water shower?
Sorry, in the background you may not be able to hear this, but our drummer Paul is moaning and wailing because it's so cold. The water in here. I'm having a hard time focusing on answering your question when I'm hearing that in the background.
That's all right, man.
But anyway, what I was saying is, it's cool, you know, to have something like this because it makes it so, I don't know, brings some light to people's lives and reveals that a lot of the degrees of separation that almost everyone has to mental illness or drug addiction or a combination of both is really small for most people. Most people have someone in their family, their close family, or a really good friend of theirs. I mean, it's just amazing how many people, you know, have somebody in their life who deals with this. So this has really kind of brought it to light, and it's something that I don't think is discussed enough in kind of the public sphere. So we're hoping to change that.
Jonny kind of hit it on the head. Like, it's cool for us to have something like that connects with our fans, because it's something that we've all dealt with. And, you know, a big thing we want is everyone to kind of connect with each other, because as we've seen throughout our life, like, community is just such an important thing between human beings. You know, like, there's no reason to be out there suffering, period, but let alone suffer alone. So, I don't know. We're just happy to be a part of it and have, you know, people reaching out and digging it. So,
well, and from my point of view too, as the radio guy, you know, follow a lot of bands on Twitter, follow a lot of bands on Facebook, try to always keep up on current events and whatever, and everybody's trying to capitalize on the merch and sell and do this. And when you see a band take a stand like that, and like you said, put the stake in the ground and stand by it or something, it restores, I don't want to say restores your faith in humanity because it sounds cliche, but you know what I mean? It breaks it down to where you guys are just people too. I mean, you're rock stars. You guys kick ass. You throw one hell of a stage show. Even if your vocal cords are shredded and you don't care, you throw caution to the wind. You keep delivering for those fans, and you guys give it your all in this desert dusty heat. But you know, at the end of the day, you boil it down. You're people, and I think that's what I've seen. What I was reading through some of the stories. People were connecting with you guys on that.
Totally. I mean, you know, that's part of the reason. As younger kids, we started the name Nothing More, was kind of a reminder, a note to our future selves that, you know, we're nothing more than normal people. We just, you know, follow our passion, having to do what we love. And a lot of times when you do follow what you love for a long period of time and you keep at it and you get better, it starts developing something and kind of sets you apart in people's minds. But that name was kind of a grounding element, because we saw bands that would just get so full of themselves and their head would just explode. And but at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like there's more power in a song if somebody is dealing with human emotions that you're dealing with, that you're connecting with. And you know, nobody really wants a superhero. They want somebody who's overcoming the same obstacles they are, and, you know, hopefully paving a way for them to be able to do it. It's when people have the idea that, you know, oh well, they can do it, or they don't deal with my problems because they're, you know, XYZ, or they're a rock star, like you're saying. There's no power in that. You know, that's not, to me, real art, real music hits people at their core, because the people who make it deal with shit like everybody else does, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, I don't know. We've just had this fortunate opportunity to, like Jonny was saying, like, grind things out together for a very long time. and it worked. You know, like the lucky break we had was when we all found each other, and when we all, you know, aligned our vision together and just started working, you know. And I don't know, we hope that's also just kind of an example or an inspiration to people that they can do this same thing. So whatever separation they feel between their lives and something as like glamorous or far out there as what we do, is totally conquerable by anybody if they decide to do it.
That's a great way to put it, man. So I had some fallbacks here that I was going to ask about. You guys are kind of like an A-team meets MacGyver in terms of being able to do everything. I've read stories of lore that you can fix your own tour bus and you build your own set props and.
That's this guy.
Yeah, I'm the MacGyver, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like my whole life, I've always wanted to build stuff, and I grew up racing dirt bikes and go-karts and things like that. And it was something I always watched my dad do, and I never really did for myself. Like I would do small things, and then when we started touring, you know, just out of self-interest, I put myself in charge of things, and lo and behold, you know, fate would have it that through error and like breakdown and just trial after trial, and not having the money to actually pay someone to fix things, you know, I learned how to do a lot. But really, like, I don't know, like through those errors though, it's been kind of cool because it's led me to like the welding you see on stage, you know, like without like all these horrible vans and RVs that we toured in, like I wouldn't have kind of attracted the community around me of a couple of friends who really encouraged me to get into metalwork and things like that, you know, and it's become like a huge part of me. It's become a passion of mine, and I'm fortunate enough, like at a place in my life and career where I'm like fixing things less and kind of building and like working on vision more. So that's a really exciting thing for me.
And so when you're not touring, when you're not writing or playing, do you have like a side art business where you do metalwork and kind of put stuff up for sale?
You know, I tried. I actually have an Etsy account, and there were a couple things like I know I'm not going to. It started with Christmas gifts and things like that. You know, I made like I would make my family things rather than buy them.
I actually hired Dan like 2 Christmases ago to make my mother-in-law this really fancy wine bottle holder.
Yeah.
Out of like a giant metal spring and like I don't know, tractor gears or I don't know what it was.
Yeah, just kind of
it was rustic.
Scrap metal, scrap parts and things.
When he said that, your face.
Well, it's funny to look back on like things I don't have now that I built, you know, that are like sitting in other people's
Those
houses.
are like your kids. You're sending them off into the world.
I know there are. It's like, yeah, I haven't talked to my firstborn in a while. Hope it's not rusted.
It's in someone's front yard, making it beautiful right now.
Yeah. So it is something in the future, you know, once maybe this doesn't demand all my time, which it probably will. You know, I'd like to get into set design for other bands and things like that if you know, if they like what I'm doing. But yeah, it's a big passion of mine. I love it.
And there's a lot of trust in you because you stand on some of these things.
Yeah. It's
True.
dangerous.
I've cut my foot a few times on the metal, but I've gotten my tetanus shot, so all is good.
Clean, healed, and ready to go. And one more question, and I'll let you guys get back to it. I'll let you go enjoy the rest of the night. The Jenny Tour kicks off in May. Wilson and Red Sun Rising are on the bill with you guys as you're going across the country. I think maybe it should be called the Tom Hanks Tour because we've got Jenny, Forrest Gump reference, Wilson, Castaway. Come on, guys.
I'm seeing what you're saying.
Yeah, we'll start talking to management and all the promoters about it this evening.
It's not too late.
It's great.
It's
idea.
not too late to change it up. Absolutely.
I'm watching Forrest Gump tonight now.
The t-shirts would really sell too. I think.
And we'll be there'll be gumbo at the merch table too, if anybody wants.
All sorts of shrimp.
All sorts of
Little
shrimp.
shrimp.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it here then. Jonny and Daniel from Nothing More, from UFEST, guys. Hope we get to see you in Tucson at some point. Maybe once you're done with this tour, and maybe on the next album. Who knows? But we'd love to have you down there in the old Pueblo.
Oh, can't wait to come back, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We love it here.
It's Rock 102.